What is going on, Ada Nation? Welcome to the Dap Central YouTube channel. My name is Fareed, and this is going to be one of my very first live streams with you guys. And I'm a little nervous, but I'm extremely excited for everybody that's tuned in so far. So as a part of today's video, what I want to do is briefly break down some news pieces that I want to share with you guys. Once we wrap that up, I do want to turn it over to all of the viewers to take some questions from the community. And if at any point you do enjoy this type of content, I always ask you guys to please hit that like button. It really does help to get this content out to other members within the growing Cardano community. If it's the first time that you and I are meeting, consider subscribing to the channel for more content like this. And if you guys have any questions for me surrounding any of the topics that we'll be breaking down as a part of today's video, then make sure to go ahead and leave those comments down below. Now, this is going to be a live stream, and for anybody who's watching this via the replay, again, make sure to leave your comments down below. Now, as we're actually going through the live stream, what I will be doing is actually popping up some of the comments from the live stream here. So again, you guys definitely make sure to leave your comments down there. And if you guys need anything covered, go ahead and let me know. Now, because of the amount of people that may tune into the live stream, I may not be able to get to every single comment, but I will do my best to go ahead and address the ones that will provide the most value to all the members currently watching. So as a part of today's video, the first thing I want to jump into is going to be a little bit of news surrounding Fidelity and the fact that they are beginning to push crypto. However, they haven't mentioned Cardano just yet. Following that, there is a brief bill which is now going in the Congress debating on how to potentially provide KYC, or whether or not DeFi platforms need to provide KYC when it comes to their applications. Now, after that, I've got some news surrounding Cornucopias and their first ever centralized exchange listing, which was just made earlier today. So I want to jump into that. And then I've got a mini leak here for you guys, if you guys are tuning into the live stream, surrounding the progress in the release of their racing game MVP. That has been announced to be right around the corner. And hopefully within the next few weeks, we'll get some information surrounding the release of that. Now, after that, I've got some news surrounding Spectrum Finance, which is going to be a cross-chain DEX building on Ergo as well as Cardano, which has just launched, I believe, the Cardano portion of their DEX. And what I want to do is take a brief review or a brief look at what has been released. After that, we're going to jump into a minor update surrounding World Mobile with their buybacks, as well as an update surrounding their community Twitter space, which I believe will be taking place on tomorrow or July 26th. Now, in closing of today's video, we are going to be touching on the Ape Society, in which we'll be reviewing a recent post that was just made surrounding a content creator challenge, as well as Levy Finance, which has just released their first month worth of stats. Now, if you guys are not familiar with Levy Finance, they are going to be a platform that allows for you in the community to tap into the liquidity that your NFTs hold by providing them as collateral in exchange for ADA. So that is going to go ahead and actually do it there for the introduction. Again, if you guys find any benefit from this content, I would really appreciate it if you guys could tap that like button. It does help to get this spread out amongst the algorithm. So the very first topic we're jumping into is going to be surrounding Fidelity. So let's go ahead and just jump straight on in. And what I have here for you guys is going to be a post surrounding Fidelity, trying to educate the broader community, which, if you guys are not familiar with Fidelity, they are going to be a platform for traditional finance as to what is going on in crypto. So this screenshot here basically is showing us that they are going to now be supporting trading for Bitcoin as well as Ethereum. And as a part of this screenshot, there's two things that I want to point out. Number one is them trying to basically teach the broader crypto community as to why the prices are going up, or excuse, not the crypto community, but the Web 2 or the TradFi community as to why the crypto prices are so volatile. And then another key thing to note here is the fact that the Cardano native token, or Cardano ADA, is not listed here. So we've got Bitcoin and we've got Ethereum, both of which are going to be the biggest cryptos currently available. However, this is just, I think, the beginning of what is to come. So I think that over the course of the next few months and potentially years, we are going to see some of these Web 2 platforms or TradFi platforms begin to adopt more and more, especially when it comes to, what do they call those? I want to say altcoins here within the space. And that obviously includes Cardano as well. So that was the first thing that I wanted to mention there. And then one thing here that was noted by Stake with Pride, which I got to give them some credit here as to actually providing this content, is going to be the fact that they want the Cardano Foundation, Frederick Gegard, and Emergo to basically go ahead and push very, very hard to get Cardano adopted into these platforms. You could imagine that if they were able to, how much exposure this would give to Cardano and the entire crypto space. Again, I think it's a matter of time before these bigger platforms begin to integrate Cardano, but this is a really great start with Bitcoin and Ethereum. All right, so that's going to wrap it up there for that very first topic. Jumping into the next one here, this was posted by Matthew Ploman, who is, I believe, the founder of Mahen Finance. And if you guys are not familiar with Mahen, they are going to be a fiat-backed stablecoin building on Cardano. They just had a huge Twitter space actually held on yesterday with Steve as well as Plutus Plumbus, who is going to be their developer. Now, over the course of the past few weeks, they did actually successfully mint the first ever piece of MUSD, or the Mahen stablecoin, on the testnet. And I believe they will be rolling out that testnet to the general public over the course of the next coming weeks. But that's not going to be the focus here of today's video. What I want to highlight here is going to be a tweet from Matt himself stating that today in the US Senate, a bill requiring all DeFi platform operators to do KYC and confirm the identities of both parties and every transaction has now been signed. Not signed, but at least put out there for them to begin reviewing. Now, for full transparency, I am by no means a congressional expert. I focus specifically on Cardano, and I hope you guys can understand that. But I did want to share this here with you guys. So it reads here, this is going to be a bill to clarify the applicability of sanctions and anti-money laundering compliance obligations to United States persons in the decentralized finance technology sector and virtual currency kiosk operators for other purposes. So again, trying to really simplify this down, it just sounds like they are trying to pass a bill to clarify the applicability of KYC and AML laws when it comes to DeFi and the entire sector, as well as DeFi operators. So this will be interesting to see. Obviously, this is probably going to take a long time to actually kind of play out. But again, I'm no expert in this particular field. I did want to bring this to your guys' attention. So let's go ahead and take a quick break here. Let's jump into the chat. We've got some salutations here from MeQ Vision. What's good, bro? Salutations from Montreal, Canada. Thank you for tuning in. Let's see here. We've got Steve from the COPI team. What is up? I appreciate you digging the lo-fi tunes. It took me a little bit of time to find those songs. We've got One Africa. Thank you for tuning in. Let's see here. Again, I really do appreciate you guys all jumping in. All right, we've got Eric. What is going on, Eric, from the Cornucopias community? We've got Despina, aka Demetrios. Hello, how are you? Again, if you guys are enjoying this, I would really appreciate it if you guys could tap that like button. All right, let's go ahead and jump back into this. The next thing I want to jump into is going to be surrounding Cornucopias and the fact that they have just released, I believe this is going to be their first ever centralized exchange listing. I mentioned earlier that we have just the right people to answer this question. So Steve, let me know down below if that is accurate, but I'm not sure that Cornucopias or the COPI token has yet to be listed on a centralized exchange. I know for sure that we do have the COPI token on DEXs, which include the MinSwap DEX, Sunday Swap, Wing Riders, and Muesli Swap. I'm not sure if they've gotten listed just yet on the DeFi DEX, but this will be, and I actually see that comment right there from Steve. So this is the first centralized exchange listing from Cornucopias. I really do appreciate that, Steve. So a huge milestone here for the entire Cornucopias game team and their community. They are one of the strongest here within the Web3 space, boasting over 40,000 members within their Discord. Now, for those of you who are watching, I do cover Cornucopias here very greatly, but if you haven't heard about Cornucopias, they are going to be an MMORPG building on Cardano using Unreal Engine 5. So it states here, huge announcement. the COPI token has now been listed on Ascent DEX. We are excited to announce that Cornucopias, or COPI for short, will be officially listed on the Ascent DEX, which is going to be one of the leading cryptocurrency exchanges. Now, this particular listing represents a significant milestone for the Cornucopias game and opens up a new opportunity for their entire community and supporters. Some key things to note here: the deposits will be opening up, and you can right now go ahead and deposit the following pairs. That includes the BSC COPI pair, and they will be opening up the ADA/deposit or the ADA/COPI deposits very soon. In terms of trading, that will actually begin on July 26th of this year at 2 p.m. UTC. And one thing to note here is that the COPI token did initially launch on the Binance Smart Chain. The team did eventually end up moving that particular token over into Cardano with the help of chainport.io. But keep in mind that you cannot send the ADA version of COPI over into the BSC deposit. You will lose your ADA/COPI. So keep that in mind. There's no need to jump the gun. Again, you can purchase it on DEXs right now within the Cardano ecosystem. But if you want to go ahead and actually begin trading the COPI/USDT pair, you can now do that on Ascent DEX. So again, I appreciate you guys tuning in there, and I appreciate Steve with that little piece of news. Let's see here. So Steve did mention that there. This is the first centralized exchange listing. We've got a comment here from COPI Board. Do I have an opinion on Ascent DEX? Have I used it? So COPI Board, I have yet to use this particular DEX or centralized exchange, excuse me. I have used Bitrue, but I don't think COPI is listed there. So I'll be doing my due diligence, because this announcement was just made earlier today, to actually see how friendly the platform is and exactly what kind of KYC or AML requirements might actually be involved in beginning to trade on Ascent DEX. If anybody else watching this video live right now has checked this out, then definitely make sure to go ahead and let me know as to what your experience has been like. All right, let's see here. I think that is going to be it there for that brief update when it comes to COPI. Now, one thing that I do want to briefly touch on, and Steve, let me know if maybe I'm not supposed to share this, but I just recently became an OG. And what I wanted to just briefly touch on was the fact that this team is getting ready to launch their racing game MVP as a part of the Toledo Valley Speedway, or the Toledo Valley Raceway. The team just had their T3 NFT mint, which did sell out. And over the course of the past few weeks, the team has been gathering more and more information surrounding the specs for computers for the potential testers that will get the first dibs or get the first round of actually testing out the game in the next coming week. So just a little piece of information I want to share with you guys there. Hopefully, Steve, I'm not spilling the beans here, but the team has been gathering more and more information and prepping for the actual launch of the game. That's going to do it there for that brief update here surrounding the Cornucopias game. The next piece of news I want to jump into is going to be surrounding Spectrum Finance. So what we now have is going to be one of the first DEXs, which is going to be cross-chain. And an interesting piece about this is that it's not just going to be touching on any network, it is going to be touching between Ergo and Cardano. Now, this was retweeted by Coinecta, which I have covered here on my channel. They're going to be an IDO platform or a launchpad platform, also aiming to be cross-chain between Ergo and Cardano. And I believe Marty, who is the founder of Coinecta, may actually have some ties back over into Spectrum Finance. He also has some ties over into Paideia, which again are going to be platforms building on Ergo, looking to become cross-chain, leveraging the Cardano ecosystem. So that said, let's quickly just jump into the actual platform and let's connect our Cardano wallet and see exactly what this DEX has to offer. But before I do that, it reads here, Spectrum Finance has just unveiled their DEX on Cardano. Now, this is going to be a cross-chain based decentralized exchange, or DEX, operating on both Ergo and Cardano. Stay tuned for a series of impressive IDOs in the upcoming months, showcasing the potential for cross-chain projects. I really would not be surprised if the actual Coinecta IDO occurs and they're immediately listed on the Spectrum Finance DEX. Now let's jump over into their DEX. You can access their official website by heading over to spectrum.fi. From here, all you need to do is go ahead and click on Launch App. I'm going to click on that there. And I'm going to be using my Nami wallet here for today's video. So the website has loaded. I'm going to go ahead and click on Connect Wallet here at the very top. And what's interesting is how lengthy of a list they have here. Now, keep in mind that these are not only going, well, these should actually only be Cardano wallets because I'm accessing the Cardano version of the DEX, but they support Nami, Eternal, Lace, Flint, Wallet Connect, NuFi, Giro, Typhon, Yoroi, and Exodus. Now, I'm going to be using Nami. I personally believe it's one of the simplest to go ahead and actually install as well as utilize. I'll select my wallet there. I can see my balance there in ADA at the very bottom. I can pick the token that I want to go ahead and use to purchase, which again is going to be ADA by default. But then if I scroll down or use this select a token option down here, I can actually see the list of tokens that are currently supported on the DEX. So they support WMT, JED, which is going to be a stable coin, CNETA, which is going to be a platform allowing you to bridge your Bitcoin over into Cardano, AGIX, or the Singularity Net token, Shen, the reserve currency for JED, Indigo, LQ, Snek, which was just a part of a controversial vote earlier today, Meld, a DeFi protocol, Husky, ADA, and so many more. We've got Pavia, NTX, Clay, COPI, Iagon, C3, and the list goes on. So I think you guys kind of get the point. Again, just showing you guys the brief list of tokens that they currently support. Now at the top left-hand side, we've got the swap, which is what we're doing right now, swapping between ADA and another token. We've also got the ability to view liquidity. So this is going to allow us to view all of the current liquidity pools. And if we scroll down, we have the ability to view the 24-hour APRs, and we can also add liquidity to these pools. Now, keep in mind, if you're adding liquidity, you have to add both portions of the token pair. So for example, if you want to provide liquidity into ADA/AGIX, you need to hold ADA as well as AGIX. I'm not sure that they have a Zap feature just yet, but I would assume that they would follow suit and add that. And if you're not familiar with what a Zap feature is, it's basically a feature that allows for you to swap or provide liquidity, excuse me, with just a single token pair. Usually it's done with ADA, and when you zap in with ADA, what they do is take that ADA and then purchase the other asset automatically for you in a single transaction. Therefore, you only have to provide one token as opposed to having to provide two separate tokens. So just a heads up there. And if we take a look at their liquidity pools, they've got quite a few. So if you guys are interested in providing liquidity, then definitely make sure to go ahead and check them out. Now, one thing that I do want to touch on here, which I noticed earlier, which is actually very, very cool, is going to be some of their themes, which includes one for Snek. So they've got like a little Easter egg here. And let me go ahead and see this. So we've got our recent transactions up here. And if I click on this drop down, we've got a light theme, we've got a dark theme, and we've got a system theme, which I think are all pretty common, right? Light, dark, system. But if we go under meme theme, check this out. So we've got an entire Snek theme. Let me get myself out of the way there. But you guys let me know what you think about that. That is impressive. I mean, I've never seen anything like this. Could we see other DEXs beginning to do something like this? I would definitely appreciate that. Again, just adding a little bit of lightheartedness to what they're building. And if I jump over into the swaps, you'll notice that that's also optimized for the Snek theme. So really interesting stuff here coming in from the Spectrum Finance team. Let me know what you guys think. Have you guys already checked out the DEX? If so, what are your first impressions? I actually just got a chance to take a look at this here right before I shot this video. And again, I wanted to share this with you guys here in the community. So I believe that is going to take us there through that particular update. Again, I appreciate you guys tuning in. If you guys have found any value so far in today's video, if you guys could tap that like button, it helps to get this content out to other members within the growing Cardano community. I'm also a single stake pool operator. So if you guys would like to support me outside of the actual YouTube channel, you guys can consider delegating to the official DApp Central stake pool, which is stake pool ticker DAPP. Let's jump into the comments here and see what else is going on. Let's see. So we've got a few other members joining the live stream. Thank you all for joining. We've got some conversations going on about COPI and becoming an OG. I do want to say that there was a really deep post posted by Rob, which I did have a fully dedicated video for, breaking down all the steps as to how to become an OG and exactly what it all means. Let's see here. I think that's really it there for now. We will catch up and I'll be taking some questions here at the end of the live stream. So let's go ahead and jump into the next update. This is going to be a brief one, but this is going to be surrounding World Mobile. If you guys have not heard of World Mobile before, they're going to be a platform aiming to connect the unconnected through a sharing economy. And I actually saw Cardano with Paul here in the chat earlier. If you're still here, Paul, thank you for tuning in. I definitely do appreciate your support. Paul just had an amazing live stream with Mickey Watkins, who's going to be the CEO of World Mobile, breaking down all of the latest news and updates surrounding this platform. So you guys check out Paul's channel. Again, he's been doing a lot of this way before I have, and he's an OG here within the Cardano community. Now, what I want to touch on here is going to be their buyback. And I believe this occurs every week or so, but the team has now accumulated all the way up to 98,000 of the WMT tokens. As a part of the latest buyback, they accumulated 13,000 of the WMT tokens, which is equivalent to about 5.3K ADA or about $1,500 US. When we're looking at the total buyback, that's equivalent to about 39,000 ADA or about $12,000 US. Now, if you're wondering why they're doing this buyback, it's to actually provide a little bit of the profits, which are going to be earned by the protocol, back over into Earth node operators as well as World Mobile stakers. If you guys want more information surrounding World Mobile, I do have a full dedicated playlist breaking down all the news surrounding this project. I also did a recent review of their World Mobile global app, which is going to now be available on Android. And as a part of that, I broke down their third-party applications or their third-party services. We took a look at how to purchase World Mobile credits directly on the mobile app, as well as how to set up a wallet. And we also even checked out their scan for points feature. So if you are a member within the World Mobile community, you can actually begin to scan your surrounding area in order to provide data back over to the World Mobile team as to where potential air nodes or connectivity gaps might be in order to actually earn some of the World Mobile credits. So really a win-win situation, and this team has put in a lot of thought and organization into their World Mobile global application at launch. So again, if you guys want to find out more about that, check out my last video breaking that entire video or that entire application down. Now, the next thing I want to jump into here surrounding World Mobile is going to be their upcoming community update on what used to be Twitter Spaces, but they're now called XSpaces. So this is going to be an update from Mickey, James, Antonio, and Greg. And again, they do a really good job of structuring these, not only to provide us with key updates surrounding the developments that they have going on in Zanzibar, which include Nungwe and Paje, but they also give us a ton of updates surrounding their rollout in Pakistan, as well as the United States. That's right, they are going to be rolling out in the US, and they just actually announced a Spectrum license approval for the United States. So we can begin to see air nodes coming online very, very soon. Now, this particular space will be kicking off, and let's actually see. I thought I had the date here, but it's going to be kicking off on Thursday, July 27th at 2 p.m. Now, I believe that is going to be my time zone. I'll have to double check that. I don't see a time zone there at the end. So that might be my time zone, which is CST or Central Time. But if it's not my time zone, then it definitely would be UTC. Now, I think that is going to wrap it up there for that brief update surrounding World Mobile. So I think let's go ahead and just take a quick look here. We've got a lot of chatting going on. What is going on, Seven? I appreciate you tuning in. You guys make sure to go ahead and check out his channel. He drops music, and it's all, well, I don't want to say it's all, but a lot of it is COPI related, and I get a huge kick out of them. He's a real comedian at heart. I also see 2 weak links, and I believe that might actually be Stein behind that particular account. Again, thank you to the both of you guys. A real big turnout here from the entire Cornucopia's community. That's actually one of my favorite things about the Cornucopia's platform is their community and how supportive they are. I always mention this, and I'll mention this today. When I started my channel, right now I'm at about 5.5 thousand subscribers, and I'm thankful for every single one. But when I first started the channel, I think I had about 17 subs, and Rob Gregg, who's going to be the CEO from Cornucopia's, was commenting and sharing my content at that time. So a real heartfelt moment for me, seeing how early Rob was willing to show myself support. And obviously since then, I've grown a lot as a content creator, and I'm trying to do my best here to continue expanding. And that's actually what I'm doing here with these live streams, trying to give you guys the best updates here and a quick simple and concise manner. So again, if you guys appreciate this, make sure to tap that like button. All right, we are going to jump into, I believe, our last segment here for today's video. And this is going to be surrounding the Ape Society. So if you guys are not familiar with the Ape Society, they are going to be a platform, which is an NFT project, but they've kind of broken out of that and they're doing a lot of different things. So the latest piece of news that we now have is going to be what they call the Ultimate Web3 Challenge. Now, as a part of this challenge, what they're going to be doing is incentivizing the community to basically create content, and they're going to be rewarding the members creating that content. Now, this is going to be lasting a total of 33 weeks. Yes, that's correct. 33 weeks. And each week they'll be breaking down and rewarding the top 3 content creators. So if you're a content creator like myself, whether you're on YouTube, whether you're on Twitter, Instagram, wherever else you are, go ahead and potentially check this out, especially if you're a member of the Ape Society, in order to potentially cash in on some of this ADA that they'll be rewarding their community with. And if you already own an ape and you're already a member of the community, it makes sense, right? You can just support a project that you already own and that you're already a part of and potentially earn some ADA. Now, as a side tangent here, I do want to mention that this team did recently release a few key updates, and I'm actually going to be jumping into one of them in just a minute. So they recently released the Sana, which is going to be a Cardano node that will allow for you to easily and quickly submit transactions when there might be congestion on the network. And you have to provide a little bit, or at least stake a little bit of their Ape Society token in order to use or leverage the Sana. But that is something that was recently released. Now, on the heels of that, they also released Levy Finance. So Levy Finance is going to be a platform that allows for you to tap into the value of your NFTs by putting them up as collateral in order to potentially borrow some ADA. Now, this is going to be very similar to Fluid Tokens, as well as there's another platform. I cannot think of the name right now. There's Fluid Tokens and, oh my goodness, their name is escaping me right now. I'll have to come back to it, but there's another lending and borrowing platform. But anyway, what this is going to allow for you to do is tap into that value. Now, one thing that Levy Finance does that's a little bit different is that they actually go ahead and fix some of the APRs as well as the loan terms in order to provide you as a borrower with the maximum rewards. Now, this also works both ways, providing a lot of interest over to over to lenders who might be lending out their assets. Now, what I want to break down is the fact that this was just released last month. And as a part of this, they now have released some stats for their very first month of release. One thing that I'm noticing here is that not only is Levy Finance now providing their month in review, but we're also seeing Indigo doing the same thing. We've seen Wing Riders begin to do the same thing, and just a lot of other platforms releasing monthly stats. I don't know about you guys, but I am a person that really appreciates visuals. And when I'm able to see things like this in person through visuals, it really helps to make things click. So in terms of total volume, they've got 4.55 million ADA coming into the platform. In terms of TVL plus NFT TVL, that's a 3.5 million ADA. And then they've got a total of 828 users averaging on average, no pun intended there, 5.5%. Now, the total amount of loans is going to be 3.3K. I want to make sure that that's accurate. 3,000 loans being taken out on this platform. In terms of top 10 collections by volume, of course, we've got the Ape Society coming in at number 1. Again, their community is huge and it was built by them. So you would expect that they are using this as the biggest users on the platform. We then got the Goofy Gophers Mining Club at number 2, followed by the Tappy NFT released by Tap Tools. And then at number 4, we've got Clay Nation, followed by Space Buds. Then we've got the Cabins by the Ape Society, the Platypus NFT, Ore Mob, Jelly Cubes, and the Cardano Crocs Club. So again, I want to touch on this very briefly. Let me actually head over to their website here. And I want to show you guys this in person. It's really, really cool. Now, I haven't actually taken out any loans yet, but I'm thinking about actually providing some liquidity in order to potentially earn an NFT. Now, if you're wondering how that works, right? So right now I'm looking at the lend screen so I can see how many loans are currently available, right? So there's a total of 238 potential loans that were created for the Ape Society NFTs. And right now there's only 29 currently available. Now, if you hold an Ape Society NFT, what you could do right now is, because their floor price is at 5,000 ADA, you could actually come in here and borrow 4.47K ADA, again, by putting up your NFT as collateral. Now, keep in mind that if you do not pay back your loan, the NFT that you put up as collateral could actually be kept by the member who had loaned you out the ADA in the beginning. So in that event, you would be losing on about 5 or so hundred ADA if your NFT was valued at the floor price. You could be losing more if that NFT was valued or had some high value traits, which would then make it more valuable than the 5,000 ADA that the floor price is currently listed at. So I hope that makes sense. Now, if I go into borrow, I can actually come in here, and again, I can click on borrow. It would then ask for me to put up an NFT up as collateral. And once I would do that, I would get access to the highest offer, which in this case would be the 4.47K ADA. If I jump into manage, we can see our pending loans and our active loans, which right now I don't have anything. My wallet's not connected. And if I jump into stats here, we can view some of the stats surrounding Levy Finance. So that is going to do it here for that particular update. And that will, I think, wrap it up here for everything that I wanted to cover as a part of this very first live stream. Again, I can't thank you all enough for joining me as a part of today's video. Again, if you guys found this to be useful, please make sure to tap that like button. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, consider subscribing. And if you guys have any questions for me surrounding Cardano, then please make sure to go ahead and leave a comment down below. That said, let's go and jump into the live chat here and see what is going on. If you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them in there. Now, I would appreciate it if they could be touching on what we've covered as a part of today's video, which include Fidelity, Cornucopias, Spectrum Finance, World Mobile, or the Apes Society. But if they're not going to be touching on that, I'll also be taking some questions surrounding Cardano in general. So let me go ahead and see here. We've got David. What is going on? Studio Malacca. I appreciate you tuning in. Let's see here. We've got Oscar asking about PBX. I just had an interview with Dennis and Simon. You can check that out here on my channel, but they broke down a lot of news, especially some news surrounding the fact that they will be building on Cardano using Icon. So I think that was the biggest piece of news there surrounding PBX. And another thing they mentioned is that they will be having their own Cardano native NFT collection, giving you benefits and discounts on the PBX platform. Again, I've got a full dedicated playlist surrounding PBX with the recent interview that was just released no more than 4 or 5 days ago. Thank you, Oscar, for tuning in. We've got Mads. Great stream. I appreciate it. I will be honest, I was a little bit nervous when I first started. The butterflies are now wearing off. All right. I'm not seeing too many other questions. Let's see. I think I actually see another one here. This is going to be from Eric Threadgill, a huge supporter here on the channel. I believe Eric almost comments on every single video. I do appreciate you, Eric. He's asking, is the World Mobile application or global beta app available on iOS yet, or is it just Android? For the time being, it is just Android. We have asked this before, and they are working on an iOS version. However, the amount of hoops they have to jump through to get this listed on the Apple Play Store is a little bit more than what they had to go through for Android. So right now, it's only available on Android, but once the actual application is ready for mainnet, they will have one available for Apple. We've got Cardano MM. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Cardano MM, I think, was like maybe my 10th or 15th subscriber on the channel right before Rob. Again, Cardano MM, I appreciate you very much for tuning in. Hopefully you found this live stream to be enjoyable. I know you missed my first one quite a bit back, but I will be live streaming more and more often. And I guess while I have everybody here, if you guys have a particular time that you would like for me to start live streaming more regularly at, please drop that down below. I'll be launching a poll here on my channel as well to see what you guys prefer. But I'm in the US, I'm in the central time zone. And so going live anywhere between 3 and 7 o'clock CST, which is around 9 to 10 o'clock UTC, works best for me, but I understand that we've got a global audience. So if you guys have a preference, please make sure to go ahead and comment that down below. All right, we're going to take a few more questions, and I believe we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Genuine question. What is my thought on N coins? So I'm actually going to be having the CEO of Ncoins, on the channel for an interview very, very soon. I know it's going to be a privacy platform for crypto. I don't want to dive too much into it yet. I'm still doing a little bit of research myself, but definitely expect more videos surrounding Ncoins here on the channel over the course of the next few weeks. All right, let's see what else we got. Mr. Constantine, you should have an interview with the Cerberus team. I actually will be trying to line something up with Cerberus. For people who are watching that aren't familiar with Cerberus, I believe they're like a data analytics as well as like a investigation platform for what's going on in the Cardano and crypto space. Some really interesting stuff there. Again, I don't think that we have a lot of investigative tools. We've obviously got things like tap tools, which are great for price action and things like that. But what I've seen from Cerberus has been a lot of stuff surrounding tokenomics, verification of the fact that wallets are being used as they should be by teams, etc. So it is a different approach here. And again, I think the best use case that it has is going to be for an investigative approach. So I'll be keeping up with that. All right, let's see here. We've got Paul. Thank you, Paul. I appreciate you very much for tuning in. I would love to collaborate with you sometime, so let's go ahead and make that happen. I know that you've been supporting me, and I've been trying to do the same thing with you as well. Thank you for your time. We've got Oscar here with a huge compliment. I do appreciate you, Oscar, and everybody else for tuning in as well. We've got Campina69. Thank you so much for the delegation. This is a lot of hard work, and that is one of the best ways to definitely support me. So I do want to say thank you for that delegation. All right, let's see here. We've got a few other questions I'll take. Oh yeah, we can't close out this live stream without talking about the LenFi vote that went on earlier. Let me go ahead and just get this up on the screen here really quickly. So for those of you who are not aware, we did get the official confirmation of the LenFi token, or excuse me, of the Snek token as a collateral asset on LenFi. And I posted about this earlier today. The amount of polarizing comments has been overwhelming. So let me go ahead and just share my screen, and we're going to break this down here together. And I think we're going to wrap up today's video. So this was released earlier, and for those of you who are not aware, let me just give a little bit of background. Snek is going to be a meme coin. They launched about a month or two ago, basically creating a lot of liquidity and creating a lot of volume on the MinSwap DEX, as well as all the other DEXs in the Cardano ecosystem. So they've got a really huge community. They grew from, I think, 1,000 to 20,000 followers on Twitter in a matter of just a couple of months, but they are branded as a meme coin nonetheless. Now, because of that, they had a vote on LenFi, which is going to be a DeFi platform to allow for you to borrow and lend. And as a part of that, they had two separate votes. The very first vote was to add Snek as a borrowable asset. So that means that you could put up any collateral, for example, ADA, and pick up the Snek token. And that particular vote went through, no problems. I believe it was like an overwhelming majority of yes, somewhere like 80 to 90%. But what they just recently had about a week or so ago was the release of a new proposal to add Snek as a collateral asset. So this is a little bit different. What this means is that you can go ahead and actually use Snek as a piece of collateral in order to borrow additional assets on the LenFi protocol. Now, I did release earlier today a fully dedicated video breaking down all the information surrounding this. And if you guys want to find out more about that, then please make sure to go ahead over to the channel and check out that video. But to summarize this, what I've noticed is that on the LenFi platform, whenever they're adding a new piece of collateral, the community tends to vote a little bit more tightly. They're very open to adding new borrowable assets, but they're very strict when it comes to new collateral. So what we saw here was a vote to add Snek as a collateral asset. And right behind me there is going to be the vote that was released earlier this morning. As you guys can see, this was the biggest and the closest vote to ever take place on the LenFi protocol. Snek basically got a confirmation vote by 59,000 of the LenFi tokens. So you could have literally had one wallet holding, now that is a lot of LenFi, especially given the price right now, basically sway this entire vote. Now, if I jump back over into this next tab here, let me close this out. I made this post here yesterday. right at the very end of the epoch's close. So you could see that this is a different result. So this was showing that Snek had actually been denied or rejected. So I made this post here yesterday, right at the very close of the epoch, and it actually was showing under the completed section of proposals. So to my knowledge, at that time, this was the valid response or the valid result. Now, unbeknownst to me and probably a lot of other members within the community, what we saw was the fact that they actually released an update this morning stating that Snek had actually been confirmed as a collateral asset after an on-chain vote in a, I don't want to say a recount, but after a thorough review of all the on-chain votes that took place. So what I think happened is that they probably had a lot of people voting right there at the very end of the close of the epoch. And some of those votes may have actually been put in after the close of the epoch. However, they had to go back and confirm that. So when I posted the fact that they had gotten rejected, there was just so many comments about the fact that Snek had, brought on a lot of people, brought on a lot of liquidity into Cardano, and that it deserved to have basically been added to LenFi as a collateral asset. But the tone had changed so much more this morning when that bit of news came out from the official LenFi team. Now, I do think that the LenFi team could have probably dealt with this a little bit better by making sure, or at least putting out a statement right after the close of epoch to say, hey, we are going to be checking the on-chain votes, because for about 20 hours or so, it was my understanding that the vote had gone through and that that Snek was rejected. So I think that is a little bit of constructive criticism there aimed towards LenFi. If they do have, I think, any close votes moving forward where it's like, 50 or 49%, they need to basically tell the community, hey, don't count this as final until we release an official statement. Because again, a lot of people like myself ran with what we saw on the official governance portal, which in my mind should be accurate at all times. So a little bit of interesting news there. However, nonetheless, we do have Snek now being confirmed as a valid collateral asset being added onto the LenFi protocol. If you hold Snek, I think this is a huge opportunity. You're now able to basically leverage your Snek in order to potentially borrow more Snek or even purchase ADA that you can then use on any other DeFi protocol. So basically opens up a new use case and a new bit of utility for Snek token holders. But it was one of the most controversial and one of the most heated votes that have taken place here on the Cardano network. So thank you for that comment there. Hopefully that gives you guys a little bit more context as to what has happened. But I think things are cooling off now in the fact that the Snek community has now been accepted. We've been seeing a lot more positive comments here surrounding that vote. Now, the team will be having an additional vote for Iagon. And again, if it's a close one like we saw with Snek, I would really hope that the LenFi team puts out some kind of announcement right after the close of the vote to let us know that they're going to be reviewing things on chain, as opposed to just kind of following up the next day when a lot of people had believed that the initial vote had actually been rejected. I think that's going to be it there for that. We will take, I think, one or two more comments. We've got Rob Gregg in the house. What is going on, Rob? I appreciate you tuning in, man. Again, I don't know if you were here earlier, but I was giving you some praise as to just the amount of support you've shown me here on this channel, and just really being an awesome CEO and a co-founder, right? We don't get a lot of members like yourself in that position that are able to be so closely in tune with their communities and their content creators. So thank you for that, Rob. I appreciate you tuning in. Let's see here. We've got a question here from Argon Modith. So questions like these, I'm not going to take the liberty to answer myself, but this is surrounding comparison between World Mobile, Starlink, and what SpaceX is building. But these are great questions that you might want to bring up as a part of their community Twitter space taking place here on Thursday, I believe at 2 p.m. CST. So go ahead and tune in for that, and you can pose that question to Mickey directly at the very end of their community call. All right. I think that might be it here. Let's see here. We might just take one more. We've got Ryan Flores. Do you know when Mindset will support Lace? I think you mean MinSwap. That will be a question that you may actually want to ask within the Discord. I'll take that one upon myself. I'll see if I can get an answer. But feel free to potentially send me an email, Ryan, if you want more information surrounding that. I know that the MinSwap team is pretty quick when it comes to hearing out and actually moving on some of the suggestions from their community, but I would be very surprised if this wasn't on their radar. So I'll try to follow up there in their Discord and see if I can get you an answer on that, Ryan. And I do appreciate you always commenting on my videos. I do see those, so thank you again. All right. Daniel Rogia. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. I'm from Brazil and I'm always watching your videos. Congrats. They're great videos. I'm staking with you since yesterday. I really do appreciate that, Daniel. Again, I've met so many other people from outside the United States through this. It's really impressive what you can do now as a content creator and the power that we all possess when it comes to the internet. So I'm just trying to do my part here, leveraging the skills that I have, trying to provide you guys with some value. And if you guys do appreciate that, one of the best ways to support me is by delegating to the stake pool. So thank you, Daniel. I appreciate that. Let me know what time it is where you're watching this from. Again, I'll try to do my best to kind of find a time that best fits everybody to do these live streams moving forward. All right, let's see if we got any more comments. I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. We are right at about the 1 hour timeline. We've got Crypto Moose in the house. The moose is loose. What is going on, Crypto Moose? You guys check out his channel as well. He's been doing a lot of content. I've got to give Moose a lot of credit here for his short clips, really to the point, a lot of extremely good information. And I've been seeing him also going live very recently too. So it would be good to go ahead and potentially catch a collaboration, Moose. I appreciate you tuning in. All right. Yeah. Studio Malacca or David, so many OGs in the chat. That is true. I honestly did not expect this. This has been something that's been on my mind for quite a bit of time, but I mean, I'll be honest, live streaming is a world of its own. Doing regular videos, I've kind of mastered that now. You know, I just crossed over, I think, 400 videos. I remember when I first started just doing regular videos, you know, I had a really hard time just shooting a single take. I'm able to do that now. And, you know, the next thing I want to do is begin to interact live with the community. And this is the best way for me to do that. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. And hopefully this is just the first of many in which you guys will be able to interact amongst each other with all the OGs here within the Cardano community. All right. Let's see here. We've got Mike. I see you all the time in the comments, Mike. Thank you for tuning in. We've got Pratesh. Thank you as well, Mr. Patel. I appreciate the compliment. And I think that is going to go ahead and do it. Rob, go ahead and check that playback. I do appreciate you tuning in as well. All right, guys, I think that's going to wrap it up here for this very first live stream. Again, make sure to turn on those bell notifications if you guys appreciate this kind of content. I will be doing this more and more often moving forward, and I'll do my best to potentially bring other Cardano community figures onto this particular platform to share their insights with you guys here as well. First one is in the books. Again, I cannot thank you all enough. And as always, I will see you guys in the next video.